Welcome to the program. I'm your host, Neal Howard, here on Health Professional Radio for this Health Suppliers segment. Thank you for joining us today. Almost 70% of Americans say that they prefer to take natural supplements instead of over-the-counter and synthetic drugs to soothe some common respiratory ailments. Our guest today is Ryan Kaltman. He's the brand manager for Myrtol 300. Myrtol 300 is a natural supplement that's been in use in other countries, but recently has been introduced to the United States. Ryan is here to talk about this groundbreaking supplement with us today. Welcome to the program, Ryan Kaltman.
Oh, thank you so much, Neal. Pleasure to be here.
A bit of background about yourself prior to being brand manager for Myrtol 300.
Sure. Well, I actually live here in Los Angeles, born and raised here in California, and my kind of an academic background in health and wellness. My degrees in psychology and biology from Stanford. And my focus these days are finding those incredible companies with really breakthrough products and being the evangelist for them. And I feel very lucky to have found this German company that is actually well over 100 years old that has been providing their product outside the U.S. for the past 40 years. And it is a all-natural dietary supplement that is used at the first sign of a cough and cold, and it's called Myrtol 300. And I feel very fortunate to have found it. One of my dear friends was traveling overseas and fell under the weather and found their way into a pharmacy and was given this as a suggested natural remedy. Immediately took it. Usually, this person would take, one of the heavier kind of pharmaceutical mucus thinners here in the United States, but opted for this natural one and had an incredible experience. Got back on their feet very quickly. Came back to the United States, wanted to find it here, couldn't, and that's how we started to do the research together. And we were able to track down the company and be advocates for it. And lo and behold, I've become the brand manager for Myrtol 300.
Now, you say that is to be administered at the first sign of some respiratory distress, not necessarily distress, but a little bit of discomfort. Is this something that can be used as a preventive measure when it comes to coughs and cold symptoms? And can it be used once those symptoms have been in place for, say, 1 or 2 days?
Neal, that's a great question. I actually, myself and my family, happen to take this every day, regardless of how we feel. In fact, it's almost like a preventative measure. We take it almost like we're taking vitamin C. At the first signs, or just feeling that kind of malaise, or that not feeling your best when you wake up in the morning, you kind of, oh my gosh, maybe I have a sore throat, or I have a little stuffy nose, or a little cough happening. We start taking that. I take 2 in that situation, and I find myself over the next couple of days feeling right back on my feet. Those symptoms usually disappear very quickly.
What do you think is the reason that folks overseas have been taking advantage of the benefits while it's just recently being introduced by yourself and your associates here? Well,
long story short, the company behind it is called Pol Boskamp. Pol Boskamp is a family-owned company over 100 years old. And they have been stocking their supplement in pharmacy. So you can walk into retail overseas and find it. It's the premier choice for people because and we're finding this more and more. A lot of Europeans kind of have Eastern natural remedies side of things faster than we do in the United States. We're also heavily governed by the FDA, and that's something that kind of raises the bar that companies with innovative methodologies and remedies keeps them from easily coming to the United States and providing the research and the science and all that. And luckily, we were able to provide all that information to the FDA and get the kind of signing off on the research. So thank goodness, we made it through. It took us a while to do that. And over the course of this year, our introduction, it's seen nothing but incredible success. A lot of people are really loving it. We have a lot of advocates for it, too.
Well, with those FDA standards being so stringent and the success of this newly introduced supplement, talk about some of the ingredients that are involved.
Certainly. So a lot of people, when they hear that Myrtol 300's primary ingredients are essential oils, the first response we get most often is, oh, I thought you can only put essential oils topically as kind of like rub in wounds, as, a way to help healing, or use them as kind of an aromatherapy, a method. We have found, and certainly Paul Boskamp has found, that the proper dosage of the 4 essential oils that we use, they are, just like the name says, Myrtol 300, the primary essential oil is myrtle leaf, and then there's lemon, then there's there's orange oil, and then there's eucalyptus. So eucalyptus, orange, lemon, and myrtle. And with those 4 in the proper dosage, it's not too much, but it's just enough to have what is called a mucolytic effect. So if you have mucus building up in your sinuses, in your chest, it soothes that. It starts to thin that mucus, reducing the mucus viscosity to facilitate the evacuation of that mucus. Additionally, there's a what is called a secretolytic effect, which stimulates the secretion of liquefied mucus. This facilitates and ease, again, the removal or expectoration of mucus from your body. And then finally, there's a secretomotoroic effect, which is the ciliary beating action along the entire respiratory system. Having that ciliary beating happen more aggressively causes the mucus to evacuate. And it's incredible. You wouldn't think essential oils could do that, but this combination of the 4 achieves it quite well.
After the essential oils in Myrtol 300 have done their thing, does it promote a balance of mucus, or are you dried up? Does your body have to
That's a great question.
Reproduce the mucus?
Perfect distinction. I appreciate you clarifying on that, Neal. Yes, it's all about getting your body back to its homeostatic wellness. That's just getting your body back into balance. It's getting that overproduction of mucus, back down to the natural production, which is necessary, and having your nasal passages be properly lubricated, and your respiratory system having that lubrication naturally. Yes, of course. That over dryness is never desired, and Myrtol 300 quite happily doesn't take you into that direction. It just gets you back into that homeostasis.
Now, you mentioned that your whole family takes this supplement. You've got a couple of young kids, I do understand. Is this actually a very effective? Because kids, they're exposed to a few more nasties than we as adults are. They're a little less careful. How's it been working with your kids?
Quite honestly, the regulations and things, keep us from saying it's specifically for children. I'll just say, sidebar, my children have tried it and actually feel great about it. There's kind of like a lemony taste they have when they swallow it. Now, I have a son who is 7 years old. He has a trouble swallowing any kind of capsules and things. So it is a gel inside the capsule, so you can poke it open and spread it over, put it in a smoothie or what have you. And suddenly it's very consumable. But moreover, my wife and I are the heavy users, the ones that are taking at least one a day over the course of a couple of weeks, and then we take a week off or so, just like any supplement. And it just keeps that spring in our step, keeps that lung support, that respiratory health that you want. And as you get older, the baby boomers, and there's not many kind of regular and reliable lung support or respiratory support kind of supplements out there. And this is it, in my opinion. And that's why I'm such a big fan. And that's why I thought, I really want to devote my time to making this message be heard by as many people as will listen. Well,
we sure like to get some more information and find out where we can get this brand new supplement.
Happy to help you with that. The website we have is Try, that's Try, Myrtol. Now, it's a funny word, so let me spell it for you. That's Myrtol, and then the number 300, that's the number 300. So Try, Myrtol, 300.com. And of course, and that's where all the research and all the information is there for people to review. And certainly, if you'd like to go to Amazon and read reviews there and find it and take a deep dive, it's in Amazon.
Well, I surely appreciate you coming in today and speaking with us. Mr. Ryan Kaltman, brand manager for Myrtol 300, a natural supplement using a proprietary blend of essential oils, as he's been explaining, to help soothe coughs and support a healthy respiratory system. Thanks for coming in once again to this Health Suppliers segment here on Health Professional Radio.
Thank you, Neal.
You've been listening to Health Professional Radio. I'm your host, Neal Howard. Transcripts and audio of the program are available at hpr.fm and also at healthprofessionalradio.com.au. You can subscribe to the podcast on iTunes, listen in, and download at SoundCloud, and visit our affiliates page at hpr.fm and healthprofessionalradio.com.au.